Good morning. We're continuing thinking about the self-emptying of Jesus, and we go back to Philippians 2, and we're looking at that phrase, he emptied himself, this idea of kenosis. As the hypostatic union takes place, fully God, fully man, two substances, hypostases, united in one person. That self-emptying, this kenosis, we mentioned yesterday, that it was a subtraction by addition in that way. In other words, and I use the illustration of a backpack, right? And you run at one speed, but then you put a backpack on, you slow down, your capacity gets limited because of what you've taken on. We also mentioned that he emptied himself into humanity. All that was God was emptied into humanity, into a man, into a body, but into more than that, into a human person. And I want to mention a few other facets of this self-emptying. One was already hearkened to, but let's state it a little more plainly. It comes from Romans 8:3, which reads, "For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do, by sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin. He condemned sin in the flesh," the likeness of. He didn't have sinful flesh, but in the likeness of. So one of the aspects of his self-emptying is that he condescended to the likeness of sinful flesh. So that'd be a third aspect of this self-emptying. A fourth is that he veiled his pre-incarnate glory. You see this a little bit with certainly the Transfiguration, where Jesus displays some of his glory, and they're awestruck and wonderstruck at it. In his high priestly prayer in John 17, verse 5, we read, "And now, Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory that I had with you before the world existed." Well, that prayer gets answered after the crucifixion, resurrection, exaltation, right? He's restored to that glory. But for a little while, Hebrews 2 tells us, he became a little lower than the angels. And then a number 5 of the key aspects of what Christ did in becoming man, I think is significant for us to understand. And we'll get this by theological extension from Matthew 24:36. "But concerning that day," this is Jesus speaking, "concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only." In other words, part of him becoming man is he limited the full expression or access to attributes of deity that he had. In other words, he could have sought to know it. He could have done a number of things, but he limited the expression of those attributes. And that was part of the, to quote the hymn writer, "the veiled in flesh, the Godhead see." That was part of him being veiled in that way. Yes, it veiled his pre-incarnate glory, but also the full expression while in the body, while on earth in the body of his attributes. So anyway, those are 5, when we put those together with yesterday's thought for the day, 5 key aspects of what Christ did in becoming man, self-emptying. May the Lord bless you today.